Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to wire up this control box. Now there are two options that you could select when ordering the Blue Ghozt controller, and there's also two control boxes. Here is the Plus version. Allows you to have a little bit more customization as far as lights. You could actually hook up regular lights to this control box and control them via the Bluetooth. The other version is just the regular without the Plus, and that just limits those extra LEDs that you can actually install onto this thing and just use addressable LEDs. Now here is a real quick snippet of I'm on the website right now, and as you could see on the website, you're seeing that when selecting, there's two different options for price point, is what I'm talking about, on a wired system, as you could see here, or a non-wired system. Okay, so back to here. Okay, so this is pretty much the non-wired system. So behind the control box, you're going to see there's going to be 4 screws. I already removed them to make this video quicker, so just go ahead and remove it. You're going to need 2 tools. One is going to be a small Phillips screwdriver to remove the screws, and then you're going to need a very tiny regular screwdriver. So once you remove the 4 screws behind here, you're going to go ahead and remove the cover, and this is how it looks like behind the control box. So here's how it looks like. Okay, so first things first, we need to wire is going to be for the LED strips. Here are the connectors for those LED strips. If need be, you may need to strip a little bit more of this cable back here. There we go. You may need to strip a little bit more, just depending. Sorry for the unfocusing, guys. I'm not sure what's going on with this camera. So those are those 2 parts. Next, you're going to need a positive and negative cable. As you can see, I got this one. It has a black sleeve to it, which comes in handy because that way you can hide the wires and only need the red and black where you need it. So one end is going to go towards the battery, the other end is going to go in the control box. This is not a complete installation of how to wire this to your bike. This is just how to wire these wires to the control box, just to let you guys know. And then next, you're going to need a 4-wire system or 4-wire cable. Preferably a red, green, yellow, blue, or black works just as well, but as long as it's 4 wires. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and wire these 2 little connectors here. So let's go ahead and put all this other stuff to the side and get to these connectors. Now these connectors are the ones that are going to connect to the addressable LEDs. All right, so to wire it, if you look inside here, I'm going to try to do the best I can on showing you the details of these little connectors. So I'm going to get an additional lighting. D, T2, V, and then we have O, and then T1 and V down here again. All right, so we're going to go ahead and loosen up the screws. So go ahead and loosen up all 6 of the screws. Once you have them all loose, then we're going to go ahead and connect our cables. So pretty much what you're doing is you're just going to slide these little the wires into their terminals, and then you're going to use the screwdriver, the little tiny one, to tighten it all the way down. All right, so this is how it looks like right there, white, green, and red. Okay, so next we're going to repeat the process again, and then for the last 3, it's going to be the same thing. White, green, and red. So go ahead and put those in there and then tighten on the screws. When tightening on the screws, you want to make sure they're very snug. So if you feel like they're a little tight, just give it just a small little turn to really make sure that they're nice and tight, because you don't want these cables to actually come out loose when you're out riding and stuff. All right, so this is how it should look like. All right, so now that we're done with this, I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick to kind of make sure that the cables don't move anywhere, which is going to be some epoxy and maybe a zip tie to kind of hold the cables together. But anyhow, we're going to move on over to this side. Now this may look overwhelming with a bunch, all the indicators right over here. All right, so the first one is going to be 5 volts. Then we have ground, 12 volts. Then we have it looks like, okay, so then we have in 1, in 2, in 3, then in 4. After in 4, you're going to see PS1, okay, PS2, PS3, and PS4 at the bottom. Okay, so the ones that we're going to be interested in working on is going to be the top one, which is going to be 5 volts. Then ground, then after that is going to be the in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are going to be the only ones that we're going to be working on. The 12 volt in the ground, that's on the top here. So the 12 volt in ground, you only use those if you're going to be using these bottom ones, which is the PS1 through 4. Because those are going to be the LEDs that require 12 volts. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on wiring this one at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and start with the in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to be grabbing our cable here, which is those colorful cables, which is the yellow, red, green, and black. Now what these cables are for, you're going to have your I would say startup mode, which is going to be the red cable. So when you start up the bike, you're going to have some different light modes that you could do. The yellow and the green are going to be for your turn signals, left and right, and then the black Okay, so to wire it, if you look at the N4, that's going to be your black cable. N3 is going to be your green cable. N2 will be your red cable, and N1 will be the yellow cable. So I'm going to go ahead and install these cables into the proper spots, and then I'll zoom in to show you where they went. All right, here it is. As you can see, we got the black, green, red, yellow, all in its corresponding spots. Okay, now that we got both this side and that side connected, lastly is going to be the power wires. Now the power wires are going to be, like I said, be the top two, which is the 5 volts and the ground. So the 5 volts is going to be the red, and the ground obviously is going to be the black. So we got our cables here. So we're going to go ahead and slide those in, and then right through there, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten on those little screws. Let me go ahead and do that and show you how that looks like. Now we have everything all wired up, positive, negative. We got all our signal wires, and then we got the ones that go out to the LEDs themselves. Okay, once you get to the bike and everything, you're going to be plugging this in, and once you get to wire in all of this stuff, you'll notice which side is going to be left and which one's going to be right. So now just a little tip right now, and I noticed that other people would pot this, meaning that they'll fill this up with the black silicone that gets hard. A lot of us don't have access to that potting stuff, so having it like this is fine. You know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and put a zip tie like over here, not too close over here because I'll kind of smush all the cables together, but pretty much like right around here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a zip tie there, so you guys do the same. That way we can kind of keep all the cables kind of neat and not moving around, because having it like this will actually move around a little bit. So I would say probably around there. If you want, you could put 2 zip ties, but I think 1 should be fine, like right about there. Cinch them down pretty tight. Okay, after that, now I'm gonna go ahead and put a zip tie over here on this side, just to kind of keep the cables from moving around when, you know, putting this over to the bike. And this one you could probably put fairly close on this side. And then if you guys want, on this one you could probably put a zip tie on the other end, so you don't actually tug on the cable the opposite way, because if you tug on it hard enough, you could actually pull them out of its slots. So let's see, and having the zip tie on this side will prevent that from happening. Of course, if I could get the zip tie there, let me go ahead and fold it a little bit, get it over that way like this. So we got the 2 zip ties, one on this side, one on that side. On this one, you can't really put a zip tie because it's all very thin wires and you don't want to smush all the cables together. But on this one, it's okay. All right, so after that, I'm gonna go ahead and clip off the edges, or the, you know, the slack of the zip ties. As we don't really need that. And we want to try to make this as look as, you know, professional as possible. Sorry that I'm out of the shot again, guys. All right, so that's pretty much it on how to wire the controller. Alrighty guys, now that we already got everything already situated, let's go ahead and put a little bit of shoe goo. Yeah, right here, it's gonna be the black version. We're gonna put the shoe goo is gonna be right over here, and then a little bit if possible here, or for sure if not, it'll be on the outside. Now what this is gonna do is gonna allow not the cable to move around and possibly get pulled out by accident. So let's go ahead and unscrew that, and then we're just gonna pretty much put a glob in there. I would say probably right over here, so it kind of looks like that on the outside. And then for sure I'm gonna put it on the outside. I'm not sure if I could get in there through here, but for sure I'm gonna get it over here on the outside. So again, I'm just gonna squeeze a whole bunch out, kind of cover up that hole so I don't get any dust and debris on the inside of this control box, because you definitely don't want that. We're gonna go ahead and flip the control box over, and then I'll just fill this side over here with the goo, and over there, and finish it up right there. Cover that area over there, and if you have to, use your finger to kind of spread it everywhere else. There we go. Doesn't have to look super pretty, but at least it's covered. And then for this other side, sorry there guys, go ahead and spread that around. Make sure you cover all of it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and set it and let it to dry. That pretty much is it for that. Now I'm gonna cut to another clip, guys, because I kind of almost forgot to show you this. But also, once you already put the goo on there, I would say for it to be completely settled, it had to be overnight for sure. And then next, what you're gonna need is going to be a power inverter. Now this one's a 12-volt inverter, and let me show you the back so you guys could see. All right, so what it says in the back. And besides the inverter, you're going to need a plug, and here's this plug right here, and it's going to come with this plug as well. Now this plug is going to attach to our red and black leads. So and as you can see, I already have the cable very long. Is because the reason I did this is because I want to be able to install this inverter any place on the bike. So you can see I have so much cable here that I installed. So I don't want to have this one too close to the control box. I want to, like I said, be able to install this somewhere else on the bike. You know, with having this much cable, I'm able to do that. Now this part's going to obviously plug into this part right here. want to do it until you hear the click. Okay, it's a little bit hard right now, but pretty much there you go. It's already snapped in. So once you have that, also it has its, you know, you got your positive with the fuse, and then the other part has nothing on it. So here's the cables for that. So that's going to be also with the control box here. That's pretty much it. When you wire this, make sure you put the either electrical tape or heat shrink tubing to cover this part, and that's pretty much it. So that pretty much concludes this video on how to, you know, properly wire your control box with all the cables necessary to install on your bike. If you guys found this video helpful, please smash that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with my latest videos or installations. If you know anyone else that's having a little bit of a hard time on wiring their Blue Ghozt controller, and even if it's the Plus or the regular version, please share my videos. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And that's pretty much it, guys. Well, you guys take care, and I guess I'll catch you guys on the next video.